the rear diff, and it's locked. Just give you a look at this. It's got this ride on lawnmower here, and that squealing was coming from this back pulley. This back pulley's locked up in this diff. I don't know what's caused it. Was squealing for a while, now it's locked up. So what I'm going to do is take this diff out and see what it's like, why it's locked up. You can't use it because as soon as you put the pedal on it, as soon as you go to try and move it, it's not locked up in gear. You can move it around, but it just smokes the belt on that back pulley there on this diff. So what I'll do is I'll unbolt it, and when I've done that, I'll bring his back. The good thing is with these ride on lawnmowers is that they only hold on by 4 bolts in the back of the diff. Only 4 bolts holding that on there, plus this 1 bolt here. What I'll do now is take the spring off. Let's get a pair of balls. I'll better use my hand. Disconnect that. This one here is going to need disconnecting too. This spring here. It's just for the brake. Just like that. And just stick that back up there. I should be able to get this out because I've got nothing else holding it. Oh yeah, I've got the gear linkage out from doing. I'll need 2 ends for that. Better get it's got that. Just push that out. Gotta be careful because I don't want to jam my fingers in that because there's a bit of pressure on that. If you ever go to take stuff off like that, don't go putting your fingers in the way because they'll end up getting jammed. So we've got a belt still on here. Try and get the rear end out. And I can disconnect the belt. You can see on the pulley here she's really been smoking, even by the belt. I was only doing it for a very short period. I don't know what's going on with this diff though. Why she's all jammed up. Why it's frozen. Don't know yet. I'll go and give it a clean up and I'll bring it back over on a top over here what I got. Bring it back over here and I'll pull it all apart and find out what's going on with it after I wash it. When I say wash it, we're just getting the hose and getting all that stuff off it. Old grass and stuff. I've never had one of these diff apart before, so it's only the first time. Alright, once I finish up here, put on the bench and we'll apart. First of all, we have to take off this pulley. What I'll do is chop the wheels, both sides, so it can't roll anywhere. I'll get a pair of circlip pliers here to take this pulley off it. This is a very good design too. I've seen some of them where they've got a bolt. People have to use heat to get them off. But right, so it should just pull up like that. It's got up on a keyway too there. It's got a keyway where it goes onto. So pull that off. I'll just get some sockets and an impact driver, and we'll undo all these bolts. They look like 9mm or 10mm. Got myself an impact driver with the right socket. Looks like someone's been in here before too. They've got all crap on here from silicon, so it looks like someone's been in here, been playing around. This stuff's not normal. Looks like someone's been putting odd bolts in here too. I don't know what's going on here. It's got an odd bolt in here. I don't know what they've been up to here. I don't know what you call this. It's not supposed to be in there. The bolts in there are supposed to be like this. Just jam stuff in there, so they've obviously been stuffing around in here. Might tell me the reason why in a minute, what they've been up to. When I take stuff out, I like to keep them like this, and I'll sit this somewhere on the side so I know exactly how it's got to go back in there. It's very important that when you take stuff apart, if you leave it in its position like this, you know it goes back in there. You just put the bolt in, this goes on the bottom, the nuts sits in recessed in there. Like I've got another circlip in here to take off. Very small circlip holding the washer on. The circlip tool grabbed onto it, but it's such a paper thin circlip, probably because it's been worn right down for all the use. Once I do that, I'll bring this back. I'm going to have to take this keyway out here carefully. I'll use a hammer. Knock it out. That's the keyway for it, the key. I'll just stick that in here. This is this circlip I was talking about. Oh, it's going to get hung up on the top. It's the circlip and the washer. When I take this sort of stuff off, I like to keep this the exact same position it comes off. And I'll just leave it sitting on top like here with the nuts, with the keyway, and keep the pulley upright exactly the same way that come off too, so you don't get nothing mixed up. It's very important when you take stuff off, you make sure you take a note of how it goes. You don't be trying to, you know, put stuff on the wrong way here you've taken it off. Just get me melody. Carefully tap it all. Put that much sealant on here that I don't want to go sticking my screwdriver in there, or no, got it. Someone has definitely been messing around in here. Didn't really want all this to fall apart. Got a pair of gloves on now. I'll try to work out what actually happened here, what's going on with the lights. Looks pretty basic how it all works. What a greasy mess. Trying to work out why this piece here on this gear here is locked up. It seems to be jammed for some reason. Very greasy job. seems to me this shaft in here is stuck, it's frozen. So what I have to do is take these gears out of it and grease it up. I'll have to take the axles out of the wheels, sit the wheels on the ground. That way there's no weight on these, and I can adjust this and so you just take the caps off here. They've just got a circlip holding on the wheel. I'm just going to screwdriver here. I took the other side off it easy. Just pop the circlip, remove your couple of washers, and there is a keyway in here too. So you want to make sure you don't lose that. It's sitting actually it's in the shaft here still. I'll just take that out so I don't lose that. And I'll set the wheels on the ground. That way I've got the shafts. I can set the shafts here. And just a mess, like. And also I'll set these on the ground too with the right sides as well, for lefts and rights. The wheels. The transmission party doesn't seem to be the problem. This seems alright. Obviously, so it just sits in here like this. Obviously, this gear, I don't know if you can see that properly, but this gear sits in there, and this axle here just sits in these gears. It's got to go in this groove. It's got a spacer. The spacer goes on the outside of the wheel. Got a couple of washers here. How it works. That's just your rear end. Just set that to the back here. There's nothing wrong with these. I will clean this stuff out before I put it back in, and this flips over and sits straight into that. So how this works, nothing can actually come out of here, I don't think. No. Nothing can fall out. This just flips over straight back into there on top. But this shaft here is the problem. Select the shaft here to get these gears out. Just wanted to lift it up and see if I can just take this brake off. Just want to see if I can. I don't really want to take any of the gears off the shaft or anything or anything like that. I just want to see if I can remove it from its cover. Looks like I'll have to turn this upside down. Set it like that. I'll keep the cover up right. A ball just fell out then. That ball must have went in here, in that groove here. It's where that ball went. You can see where it's been wearing. It must be moving the gears backwards and forwards. So what I'll do is I'll set that ball here real careful with these gears. We don't want to get any of this stuff, let it all come off or get it all mixed up or anything. Because I've got to put this crap back together. just in there like that. This is our problem right here, this dry bit. So what I'll do is I've got to clean my hands up first. Just make sure I don't lose that ball. Hit that ball. Lose that at all. Get rid of any of that crap off here. Feels very tight there. I need to get it out though, because it's really tight on here. This won't turn at all. It's so tight, and it looks like it needs greasing. That's the only thing, it just looks dry. That's all the problem seems to be, which is good. Looks like it had a needle bearing in there, and the bearing's stuffed. That's what looks like happened. And that's why it's locked up. Had a circlip on here and that was broken. Well, knocked it out too. That's what the problem is in here, a needle bearing. I'll have to put a circlip on here. I'll go and find one now for that. And I'll work out what I'm going to do with this needle bearing. Like, it's only a low speed. It's got one good one in the bottom of it, looks like here. You can see that needle bearing in there. Looks like it has two. The one that just fell out in the top here. It's all just collapsed. That's why it locked up. So I'll get a circlip for that. I'll have a look and see if I can get one of these bearings, and I'll be back. Just got the two needle bearings out up here. Just drove it out with a long stock through there, and I'm going to try and get a couple of bearings. But what I'm going to do in the meantime, I'm going to put this stuff back together, because this could take me a couple of days to get, or a week. I don't know, it might even take me 2 weeks. I'm just going to bolt it all back together now, so it's all neat and tidy, and I can just sit in the shed. Alright, I've got my new bearings for the shaft. 2 new needle bearings here. Took me a week to get them. What I'll do is I'll just sit this on the ground. And I'll just throw a rag out to keep any dirt out of it. Right, I'll take the tissue out what I had stuck in it. I just stuck the cover back on it so it wouldn't get dirty. As you can see, that's where the bearing had been spinning on it. Where it was damaged from that needle bearing. The balls fell out. The bottom one's still good, but the top one here stuffed. There were 2 new bearings here. What we actually got to do is install them bearings in here. So what I'll do is I'll get something to clean it up with. See me bearings here. These are the old crap. Just got some brake clean. I'm spraying it. So what I need to do is actually get a socket or something this shape. I might be able to just carefully tap them in there. No, I might be able to just push them in there too. That works out better, just pushing them in. What I'll do is I'll use an old bearing. I'll just tap it. So it's flush. We don't want to go push belting the bearing in there too far, and what I'll do is I'll turn it over. Hopefully this new bearing will go in there nice like that one did. I'm probably going to have to get a socket or something to hold that. I'll just grab one of them, try and find the right width of it, and I'll be back. Right, I've got myself a socket. All I'm going to do is carefully tap it in there. Prop it up with something. The socket's a bit awkward to hold, so I'll just use the hammer. What I might do is go and get another ballpoint hammer and hit it with that hammer. So I've got my second hammer here. Just carefully sit it over top of it. Almost flush, it needs a little bit more. Pretty good. I might just go a fraction more with it. just hit it like that. Beautiful. It's seated in there really nice. After we've made a hell of a mess, move this crap out of the way. I'll take your glove off. Move this old rubbish out. I've got some wheel bearing grease here, high temperature. I'm going to try and pack these bearings of this. Put plenty in there, don't go getting shy on it. Alright, once you've done that, get a rag and wipe hands. Get yourself another glove on. Put the lid on the wheel bearing grease. Now it's very important when you put this in. It's got 3 washers on the bottom of it. It's acting like spacers. They must be shims for it. I'll spray this with some carb cleaner first before I put that in. I'll just do that over here. Grab the rag, clean it all up. Yeah, if you've got these out, make sure you check these clips too, because if they break, this can fall in there, could lock up and do some damage. So make sure you've got a good clip on here. I put a new one on it because the one that was on it was already worn out. It was just about to break off. So you just grab this. You don't want to go bashing this through there and forcing it, because you'll do some serious damage. Got some excess grease here. Just wipe that off. Right, now, after I've got this, got my pulley here, my keyway. Washer goes on here. Put the washer on there. What I'll do is I'll take these gloves off because they're getting too slippery. Just fans and use your cap, hold it, and use the cap to hold that in position. Right. Got my circlip pliers and the circlip. What I'll do is I'll expand it, but I'll keep my hand on it so I can't slip off. And to make sure it's, just pull them out, that's it. I've got that. Can't fall out now, and it's in the washer. Now, we'll put the keyway back in it. circlip, the pulley back on it. Actually, I might leave the pulley off until I do the bolts up, because I think that might be in the way. Actually, yeah, it will be to do the bolts. So what I'll do is I'll just sit this back on the ground, move this out of the way. I'll just sit this back on the ground over here for a moment. What I'll do is I'll just clean some of this crap up with a, I've just got a scraper here, it's just a cheap like razor blade. It isn't a holder, it's nothing special. Just want to clean this crap off because I'm going to be sealing it back up. Someone who done this before, never done a very good job of this. I don't know what that was in here for. I reckon I was in here stuffing around with it thinking it was the gears, but really, I'll show you the problem shortly, what I found out when I was looking at it before I'm going to put this back together. Well, I think that was in here. You know what some people like though? They're pretty stupid. I think I'll get a drill and I'll get a wire wheel, small wire brush, and I'll give that a quick buzz around with that. That should get this crap off, and just don't want anything getting in here because I'm going to wipe this out. I'm not going to wash the gears or nothing. Got my drill here and a wire wheel. Just put it in there. Just be careful if this catches on your hand or anything, it'll cut you. So. What I'll do is I'll just get some paper towel and I'll just wipe all this out. This case here doesn't actually have oil in it. It's just, you just put grease in it. So you're not going to be filling up with oil and that. It's just grease. And what I'll do is I'll get a cloth and I'll get some brake clean. I'll go around the gasket where it is and I'll spray it around that, and I'll clean all that up before I put it on there. So that's this part, and I'll sit this over on the ground. We've got the drive gear. This is pretty easy to clean up and stuff. I'm not too fussed about this. This silicone is not going to do any damage to it when it's running in here. Like, I'm only going to be sealing up and stop dirt from getting in it. Like, this ain't dirt, this is just grease. That's how you tell someone's been in here. They put new grease in there when they've had all the pulled apart. So it's pretty basic how it all works. This diff is it. This is your gear sets here. This is your select of your wheels. So it's just a single drive setup. You've got a little notch in here. I'll show you. This is what caught me out. There's a little notch on the keyway. It's got to sit in that holder. I had it sitting around here when I just put it back on there. It's got a little O-ring on here too. And all the gears and that are all in good condition. It's a very low speed transmission. It's not high speed. It's just for a ride on lawnmower, so you don't have to get too complicated or technical with it. And yeah, all you do is put grease in them. You don't go putting anything else in them. See, the grease is pretty good. It's just what grease goes like. It's not you got a selector here. I don't think I'm going to put any grease in this. It looks pretty greasy to me. I don't see the point in pulling that out and cleaning it and washing all the gears and making them all dry and then having to put all new grease back in it and put it all together. I'm just make sure I've got the washers in the right order. You got spacers here. What they do is you put the spacer and this shims your wheel out from the diff. They've got no bearings in them. They're a funny setup, these. They just run in that housing here. In here. That's all how it works. So what I'll do is, I don't want any trash getting in it, so I've got to be quite careful here. And you've got a ball bearing that goes in here too. That's what works. You select on that other piece of the cover, which I've got the little ball bearing on the ground over there. You've got to put that ball bearing in here before you put this in there. And I'll get some of that grease. I will make sure I lube up that mechanism and we'll lube up this piece of the cover here. That ball bearing runs in there. So when this goes over it, this way, this cover just sits back on it. That ball bearing here, it needs to have grease in here, otherwise it's going to wear it out. You can see it's been wearing it a fair bit already. And I'll grease up the axles too, in these bits in here, where the axles run. On here, I'll make sure I've got grease because they're looking a bit dry. Apart from that, it is an old ride on lawnmower too. So what I'll do is I'll go around here with brake clean. I think I might have a damaged thread here too, somewhere. I'll just make sure I try these bolts. No. Seems alright. Thought the thread might have been a bit dicky, but it's good. And yeah, I'll get a cloth. I'll spray this with some brake clean. Cloth or a rag. It's good enough for me. I'll just give this a spray. grey too. I'll do it over here though, either way. Give that a go, clean that up, it's pretty good. This is alright in here, it's just a bit of old grease, I'm not worried about that. Don't want to forget my ball bearing, it goes in there. Make sure my fingers are clean. Do is I'll put a blob of grease on here. I'll keep the ball bearing in its position, and I'll add some more grease on the gears. I've got it all apart. This is wheel bearing grease too, so it'll work real good in this. Put a little bit on this one. Some on the axle. Don't want to get it on there where I'm going to put the gasket though. Sealant. Just be very careful. They'll work into it, you don't need to cake it on there. Right. Put the lid back on it. Don't any crap get in that. Oh. Just get a blob of grease fix cover. I'll put a blob of grease in here, and I'll just grease up this wheel as well. In here, with wheel bearing grease, just like that, because that's where that selector is that moves that ball bearing. Some silicone here. Got myself a silicone gun. Now I need to get something to open it with, or I'll get myself a Stanley knife. What I'll do is I'll just cut it across here. Just cut it like that. And I'll just screw this one here. Pump it up carefully, slowly. Don't go flat out with it. Don't want this stuff everywhere. And then just put it around your job. You have to worry about getting in your bolt holes. They'll push out with the when you put your bolts in. just go around it even as best you can. Now, don't go touching that with your finger or anything. Just make sure you've got enough on there in some of these real tight areas. Put your cap back on. Keep this out of the sun. Yeah, we've got our ball bearing here. We've got the cover. We want to try and get this in one go. We don't want to go pulling it back and forward, so we make sure everything's in position properly. The washers are in there. See, all the silicon's on there. Everything looks good. Everything's sitting flush and moving and working properly. Now we've got to get this drive piece on here. You don't want to go hitting it or anything stupid like that. Just push it down on its own weight. I know you'd be tempted to try and move it a little bit to make sure it's free, but that's alright if you want to do a little bit. Just carefully. But that's it, don't go trying to turn it anymore. Get all your bolts. When I do these, I like to start from, like, do the outside edges here and over here, and then tighten them down a little bit. That just gives you, like, if you go to move it or something, it's not going to fall apart on you. Someone lost a couple of bolts and they just stuck this random garbage in there. Got no choice but put them back in there. Let's grab the impact driver. Don't go trying to hammer them down, just let it pull itself into it. This on the back. myself a ratchet. When you go to tighten up the ratchet, I need an adapter because I'm using a small socket and a 1/2 inch drive. The whole reason we want to tighten them all down even, we want to get this gap even. Where that silicon's coming out, you want to tighten all these down even as possible. This bolt looks like it's too big. What I might do is that this bolt, other bolt, can run through that. I want to do this. Don't want to go force and stuff. This is what happens when they lose stuff. If it gets tight, don't go keep on going. Stop. See, if I was using this, you wouldn't even know. You'd be end up stripping, or you could crack the housing, because this is only aluminium shit, cast aluminium garbage. What I might do with that is I'll grab a couple of washers. I'll stick a couple of washers on this. Where's the washers here? And what the washers will do, they'll make it sit up. You don't have to go and get another bolt. I'll put about 4 on there. I'll put a spring washer on it too. That way it'll force it. Won't come undone. Put some washers on there, like that. Now the bolt's not going to be able to bottom out. You don't have to worry about this silicon. You've got probably a couple of hours before it dries, so you're not going to have to worry about it set. That's better. She closed that up real nice now. Just stick a washer or 2 on this other one too, and it'll take the pressure off the housing. Just put one split washer on it. Now, it's very important that when you go to tighten this down is use hand tools. If I use this cordless impactor, it'll end up stripping them, because you can't stop, you don't feel the tension. So with you, adapter, just go around there. That silicone coming out, well, that's what you want to see. Just work your way around it. I'll just go back around and just check them all. You're not going to do them up too tight, because you'll wreck them. Going round, they're all sealed up nice. Got a bit of a mess coming out of them everywhere. That's all right. Put my keyway in. Just make sure it works properly. You have to use your hand. I couldn't turn it because I had greasy hands when I was trying to turn this, and it's very low gear in this. Spin very slow. Right, I've got my circlip here. circlip pliers. Seems a bit loose, that. Probably have to find a washer for that crap. That's just not going to be, just not happy with that. Even though it's supposed to have a bit of movement on it. That thing could potentially come off, get thrown off that. I'll look into that. Yeah, this shifter, you've got a washer. You've got a washer that goes on here. And what I noticed with it is that this is all slogged out and the shifter was wobbling around. So what I thought, I'll turn that upside down. It's got to be flush, and then put the bolt in it. I think it would add a washer of some sort on here, and that will allow the shift mechanism to move. I think just sticking any washer on here will do it. Fits. Yeah, it's a bit loose though. You don't flop it around on there. You need that bolt tight. That. Yes, that one's nice. It's a nice tight fit. It's better. What I'll do is take a little bit of grease, put on here, and I'll do this up. Moves nice. It's tight. It's got a little bit of movement on it. I'll break it off. But a little bit's alright. Alright. When I find a washer, something for this, I'll bring this back. Because this is no good like this, I'm not happy with it. Alright, I've got a washer for it. The circlip on there. taken over and put in the ride on. What you need to do is get a pair of mouldy grips and clamp the clutch down in it, which just pulls the belt back, which allows you to get the belt on it. I've got the belt on the dryer. Just got to put this bracket on here, and once you do that, I'll bring this back. I've already done this side up. Put it in. I reckon I'll be able to balance the camera. Do that. Alright, put your wheel on. You gotta have a washer. Space there. Line your keyway up like that. Keyway. Push it in there. Got a couple of washers here to take up the slack properly. Put your circlip in there. Get screwed on and do that. Cap on, and once I repeat the same for the other side, I'll bring this back on. Alright, she's all done. Put it back in there. Give it a test. She's all good. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.